Well, hello. Welcome to Monday at my sewing room. I'm here for a good time today. Some sneak peek things to show you. Um, we're just gonna get right into it. Theoretically, there's people joining. Oh, there's people joining me on Facebook. I don't see anybody on YouTube yet, but that's okay. Um, Thank you so much for everybody that has played along all summer for our super summer savings. That ended yesterday. And if you were playing along, I highly recommend you get your little form back into us. We're drawing next week on October 3rd for our door prize or grand prize for that. So definitely get that in here. If you did mostly online orders through the whole sale, we're compiling those results in store. And if you did some online sales and some in person, reach out to us at education@mysewingroom.ca so that Chelsea can compile everything and make sure you're in the draw if you qualify, because that would be the best. Because who doesn't want to win an in-store gift card? I know I do. I'm not eligible though, so it's okay. I'll let somebody out in the wilds out there win. So I thought I'd pop in today and show you guys what I spent part of my weekend working on. I was doing some class prep this weekend for a class scheduled in November, and I put off finishing the other thing that was on my list because I'm like, no, I should really get this one started. And I had an absolutely fabulous day yesterday. It was so much fun working on a new embroidery class from a brand that we haven't run as a class in quite some time. So Smith Street Designs does some amazingly beautiful embroidery and a little bit different vibe than OESD and Kimberbell, and just all around different. So the next class that we're running kind of as a big multi-week, lots of things involved class is called Merry and Bright, starting in November. And it has a couple different sizes. It's a quilt, and I'm like piecing and embroidery all in the quilt. There's some designs for smaller hoops. There's some jumbo designs. There's a chance to learn multi-hooping if you want some of the bigger full pieces and multi-hoop them because you only have small hoops. This will be the class for you. There's half square triangles. We'll talk about those a couple different ways. And there's some other cool piecing in the blocks. So I'm going to show you a couple of the blocks that I have embroidered and have a ruler for scale, because lots of people looking at the picture of the front of the quilt don't really get a sense of how big these blocks are. So this is that first block that I did yesterday. This is one where if you have got a smaller machine, we may need to get you multi-hooping. But this is one of the holly blocks, and like 15 inches long. It's so pretty. This was, had a good time. That's one. Snowman is another. His scarf. Look at that detail in his scarf. It looks woven. That's all just thread. It's super pretty. This guy, quite a bit smaller. 8 inches tall. So got a 6x10 hoop he'll fit. The bells. Again, this one is 14 inches tall. And great big ornament. The stitching on this particular block, I didn't realize how cool it was until it started stitching last night. But it looks like corrugated metal. And it's done with metallic threads. So a whole bunch of applique, but some bigger pieces, and a very different scale to lots of the applique that we end up doing in embroidery. So this class, we're going to run it over 4 weeks. Starting what magical date? I believe it's November. It's a Tuesday. I think it's a Tuesday. I didn't write down the date. We're just going to pull it up online. Let me make a window capture. Okay. Back to our website here. the dates for this one, Merry and Bright, starting the magical November 7th. So the website does list it as 4 parts. Each part has a price, but it is only one price for all 4 parts. And that's what the full lap size version of this quilt looks like. So gives you a better sense of how big those are. The snowman block down at the bottom is one that is multi-hooped, kind of no matter how big of hoop you have on your machine. And you can see some of that other piecing that's in there. So we'll talk about piecing. We'll talk about the embroidery, multi-hooping. There's opportunities in here if you have a scan and cut to use SVG files to cut out your applique. So there's lots you can look at in this class for, you know, bang for your buck as far as classes go. And then you'll go home with a Christmas quilt. I think that's pretty fabulous. My goal would be that we're mostly done at the end of 4 weeks with probably some homework, but not tons and tons. And there's more than one way to handle all those half square triangles. So we'll talk about that too. So even if that bit of the piecing scares you, we'll talk about what we can do to make it less scary. Something like triangles on a roll, or foundation paper, or maybe you have half square triangles from another project that you've done with your machine embroidery. You could import those and mix and match if you needed to. So that is that fun class. And then the other class we have, it hasn't hit the calendar yet. We're working on it. But we have the details in store, and you can call to register because we don't quite have it lined up. We've been talking for a long time about running a stuffed animal class. Finally have it on the calendar. Very excited. So November 22nd and 29th, we'll be doing a Funky Friends class. Funky Friends is the pattern company that we have our stuffed animal patterns from, and her patterns, Pauline is the author there. Her patterns are fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. So if you've never made a stuffed animal before, or even if you just have minimal sewing experience, there's some of her patterns that are very, very, very beginner friendly. And then as you get your skills under your belt and you've made 1 or 2, maybe you'll be ready to tackle some of the more complicated ones, or different fabric. But there's things like elephants, triceratopses. I like triceratopses. And then hippopotamuses. And you can pick from all sorts of fabrics. Each pattern does have its own fabric recommendations. Some work better with wovens, and some work okay with knits. So there is notes on each pattern as to what fabrics would be appropriate, but most of them can be done with quilting cotton. So if you've got some of that at home, maybe you want to make a hippopotamus to match a quilt that you're giving away at Christmas. How cute would that be? Or maybe you need a Christmas hippo and a spring hippo and a summer hippo, or a T-Rex, or a puppy dog, or a kitty cat. There's options. And we also have the safety eyes, so that we don't create choking hazards for the little ones in our lives, if that's who you're giving it to. So more information will be coming out in the e-news and posted to the web soon. But I think those are going to be so much fun. So much fun. I've made a few for my kids. They're continually asking for more, and it's very hard if they come visit me at work to not leave with more patterns in hand to go home with. So I think they'll get their say in what I make in class, but we'll make sure that everybody leaves with some finished stuffed animals, which will be lots of fun. Other classes that are on the calendar that you may be interested in, free motion quilting, just over a week from now. 8 days away, so October 3rd. Helen Godden will be here all the way from Australia, and you can join us for 1, 2, or 3 days with her. There's some very cool free motion quilting classes happening, and you don't want to miss out. So sign up. If you already have a machine at home, like a long arm at home, you can join us virtually for 2 out of the 3 days. The middle day, arty farty sunflowers, you do need to be in person, but the other two you could join us virtually from home if that would make you happier, so you can be on your own machine. That is some of what's going on around here. There's a Kimberbell event coming up in October. There's new owners classes on the schedule. Tomorrow we have our tiling scene class starting, so there's 3 runs over 5 weeks with 3 sessions. So there's some good stuff on the calendar for you, and we're always interested to hear what you guys want to learn so that we can teach what's appropriate. And if you guys want Tuffets, again, we just had a very successful Tuffet weekend, and we're looking to get that back on the calendar too. So that's what I have for you guys today. Definitely get your Super Summer Saver cards back into us, and if you need to be booking some time off to join us for Merry and Bright, that'd be lovely. We can help you figure out fabrics and all of that ahead of time, so you have a quilt that speaks to your Christmas decor, because I'm making mine in a rainbow that matches my house at Christmas. Not traditional Christmas colors, but there's so many places to play with whatever fabric would crack you up in that one. So thank you for joining me. Our parking lot is all back together. I think I said that on Friday, but back to normal out there, and we are ready for lots more fun here in the store. Take care, everybody. Have a great week.